already, so it's really, I don't know if it's a wake-up call, but what a terrific non-conference schedule they had, with victories over UMass, St. Joe's, and Quinnipiac. Officials: Josh Burton, Jason Bradwell, Dan Basel, and the tip is controlled by the Blue Devils. They've won most of the tips this year. And LIU, the Sharks, in the bright yellow uniforms with the trimmed blue and white, will start off in a man-to-man. Jordan Jones, little shake, trying to bake, and he lost it out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover. Jordan Jones, 5 turnovers in the last game versus Wagner.
Yeah, the one thing you want to look at for the Central team, if they'll take advantage of mismatches, watch LIU on defense, okay? They're going to switch everything, 1 through 5, so you'll have possessions where 5 men will be guarding point guards and vice versa.
LIU up top of the key. Malachi Davis, as Joe mentioned, can do it with either hand. So tough one-on-one. Terell Strickland thought about it. Shot clock under 10. He takes Ostrowski down low, and Joe rips him off, and Devin Hade comes away with it.
Now, Central will play old-style man-to-man. They'll fight over everything. They'll help on ball screens, but they play good, tough man-to-man defense.
Jaden Brown's got Terell Strickland on him. Let's see if they go to it. They do, but Terell Strickland makes a nice play as he fronted his man. Now Malachi Davis the other way. Doesn't get it to go. It's loose, and Momo fights for it and grabs the rebound. Well, they went to the mismatch, but a nice job by Strickland.
Well, you got to be patient. It doesn't have to go in right away. Reverse the ball, establish position, go to the other side. If your spacing is good on the 4 perimeter guys, you'll have opportunities to take advantage of that post mismatch.
Devin Hade tries to get going, in and out, ball tipped up in the air, and Strickland comes away with it. 2-on-2, takes it right to the rack, lays it up no good, but he's pushed, and Terell Strickland will get 2 free throws. Strickland coming off a game where he had 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Did have 4 turnovers in the game.
Bruce, you saw the replay. You're looking at the replay now. It's a beautiful change of speed and direction by Strickland. And understand something. If you're a son of a coach who played in the NBA for 17 years, on a one-on-one situation, they're not going to pass it, okay? So Strickland, the reason why he got to the rim against the bigger players, I mentioned earlier, he changed speeds. He went left, he crossed over right, got the advantage, drew the foul. Just a headsy play in transition.
Strickland in 3 conference games has not missed a free throw. He's 5 for 5. Jaden Brown comes out of the game, and in for him is Darren Smith Jr., who did not play in the game versus Wagner due to a sore ankle, but he's in here early. A buck and a half in, Darren Smith Jr. into the game. Here's Smitty, top of the key, hands off for Jones, trying to get going. Quick 3 by Hade, he knocks it down. Well, Devin Hade struggled the other night, Joe, from 3-point range, 0 for 5. He gives the Blue Devils a 3-1 lead.
Well, you know he's been in the gym the last couple of days trying to rectify that. That's a confident catch and shoot, nothing but net.
He just couldn't get going against Wagner. He tried so hard, but just couldn't get going. Strickland on the right for Fuller. He can make that shot, in and out. Hade the rebound. Ostrowski. Momo's posting up down low on LIU, and they'll reset. Off the pick. There goes Jones. Little hesitation. Lost it. And we get a foul called, I believe. It's on Strickland. Yes, it is.
LIU foul on number 11. Terell Strickland, his first.
You know, Jordan Jones, you mentioned, been struggling lately with the ball. Looks to be playing a little too fast. That sometimes happens when you're the guy and you're trying to create. Again, Bruce, we're going to see this maybe every possession. There was another mismatch, okay, a favor of Central. They just need to be patient and take advantage of it.
Momo's posting up on Davis now. Ostrowski gives him the corner for Jones. Shot clock at 7. Hade. One-on-one move to the rack. His runner no good. And the rebound grabbed by Strickland. Mentioned he had 6 in the last game in the victory. Averages 4.3 rebounds per game, Strickland. Pretty good in conference play. Here's Davis down low, almost tied up with the right hand. Oh, that may have been tipped in by Momo. LIU is going to get credit for it.
You know, if you're a Central fan and you're watching, you might call over the back. But if you don't create space when you block out, you're not going to get that call.
There's a lob down low for Momo, and he lays it up. No good. Missed it. Chippy, and it goes out of bounds. Joe Momo 1 for 7 from the floor in the last game. And he came in 2 conference games shooting it at 67%. You see the, I don't know if Momo tipped that in or not.
Well, he didn't have great position. He was in front of the offensive player, but he was under the rim, so he had no chance to get the rebound. But Central's a pretty fundamental team defensively. There's going to be a couple of adjustments made, certainly in that first time out.
Smitty made a move as Davis picks up the foul. That's Brent Davis, number 12, who's checked into the game. 6'4", 190-pound senior from Miramar, Florida. He's a transfer from Chicago State.
Interesting thing happened after the season last year. The head coach, Gerald Gillian, left Chicago State and became assistant to Rod. And whether it's right or wrong, he brought a couple of guys with him.
He did.
Nothing wrong with it, really, to be honest. If you have an established relationship with a head coach who's supposed to be a mentor, why not?
There's a vintage Jordan Jones move, but he didn't get it to go, and we're still locked at 3. Davis, as Joe mentioned, really took over the game late, and Ostrowski with a steal, his second of the game. Jolton Joe in the corner for Jones. His jumper no good, and the rebound tipped. Davis comes away with it. He looks ahead. He's got Fuller, who throws it down with the right hand and gives Momo a little glare.
Just poor floor balance. Bruce, there's no reason for LIU to get a run out. It was a 3-on-2 kick to the corner. You see the replay. Good job by Malachi Davis. We talk about his scoring, but he's a baller. Okay, he sees the court. He makes the proper pass.
Take a break. Blue Devils down 2. Blue Devil basketball, NEC front row, and the On the Run app.
For years, they competed against each other. But every 4 years, they take on the world. They represent our schools and our country. We are proud to say Olympians are made here.
Live like you don't want to waste a second, because you got a second chance. You got an appointment. You saw a nationally known cardiac surgeon, and he saw something. And within days, you had a new aortic valve, new energy, and a whole new life. Live with all your heart. With Hartford Healthcare's Heart and Vascular Institute.
Back at the Dietrich Gym, Bruce Beal, Joe DeSantis sitting in for Mark Robbins, Trevor Beal. Is he the director or the producer? I don't know. What? I read the Wagner notes last time, and they said he was the producer. And Mark said to me, no, well, he should be the director. Well, I don't know.
Well, you just don't want to call your son the boss. First of all, I don't know how much X's and O's were talked about in that Central Connecticut huddle. Right now, it looks like LIU playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Man-to-man still, it looks like, by LIU. Smitty on the miss. The shot clock went to 20 because Haid got the offensive rebound. Now he backs down Strickland. Doesn't get the roll, and a foul called underneath. Momo hit the deck along with, I think that's Davis, and they're going to call it on Davis. That's the third team foul, and the first on him.
Yeah, there's that little fadeaway by Haid. You know, I don't want to get hypercritical, but a good thing to do at the end of the shot clock is set a big man to little man ball screen, because, again, you're going to have that mismatch. And if you have a 5-man guarding a point guard with the shot clock running down, good opportunity to make a play with the dribble for yourself or your teammates.
Devontae Sweatman, number 3, is checked in for Jordan Jones. Quick pass for Haid. Shot clock down to 7. He tried to get it down low for Smith, but he cut, and Strickland comes away with it. Malachi Davis, a little runner, is good.
Hit it with the right hand, Bruce. You know, he's going to shoot most of his shots lefty, but if he has to, especially 15 feet and in, he'll use that right hand.
We were talking about Jordan Jones and his early struggles in the game, and we were talking during the break. He's missing shots that, you know, he usually makes as Max Frazier gets up off the bench for the Blue Devils. And we'll check in for Abdul Momo.
It's nice to have a player like Day-Day Sweatman come off the bench. He's been really good. A little off lately with his shooting and things, but for the most part, he's probably the best sixth man right now in the Northeast Conference.
Picks up the dribble, now gives it for Smitty. Hands off for Sweatman. Shot clock at 10. Outside Ostrowski. Does he launch it? Trying to get into the lane, but a nice play by Malachi Davis getting in the way. As he went right, there's a kick ball, unless they're going to say it went out of bounds. But yeah, terrific defense that time as he knew Joe was going to go right, and Malachi Davis rotated his feet and did a terrific job.
Well, you know, again, we talk about Malachi's offensive prowess, but there, as you mentioned, great defense. Joe's got to understand, even if the shot clock's running down, you don't have to have a sense of urgency. It's not how fast you go, it's how you change speeds.
Frazier almost got the steal with those long arms. Jalen Lee's checked in. He's got the ball, number 9, being played. Now Ostrowski is going to have to handle Malachi Davis. He gives it up in the corner. Fuller in the lane, lost it, and it's going to remain LIU basketball.
By the way, Jalen Lee's nickname is Rock, and if you're sitting 3 feet from the court like I am, you'll understand why. My man is jacked.
Yep. He goes 6'7", 212, a freshman from Orlando, Florida, went to West Oaks Academy. Shot clock at 7. Davis trying to go behind the back. Pretty good defense by Ostrowski. Davis fadeaway 3, no good. And Frazier grabs the rebound for the Blue Devils. Sweatman to the rack. Off the glass. Lays it in. Devontae Sweatman. You know, Joe, he can elevate, as you just saw right there. I mean, there's really not too many people quicker than him, but he's got some hops as well.
Well, how about coming off the bench, averaging 8 points a game in 24 minutes, 44% from the field, 37 from 3, 2.8 to 1 assist to turnover ratio.
And he had 14 points to lead the Blue Devils in the last game versus LIU, including a couple threes, but Day-Day did miss 2 big free throws. Or 1 late that would have given him a 3-point lead. Jordan Jones back into the game, replacing Joe Ostrowski. Also, Terell Strickland comes back in, and he'll give Malachi Davis a rest as he's being talked to by Rod Strickland.
Hey, Bruce, if you're a 5'8" like Devontae Sweatman is, your whole life you play that same position. Great job, but you saw that replay, changing speeds, laying it up soft over the big men.
5th turnover of the game. As the ball went through the hands of Jordan Jones, Blue Devils turned it over 9 times against Wagner in the 62-57 loss. Lee, like a freight train down the middle, and the rebound grab by Smitty. Aaron Smith Jr., as I mentioned earlier, did not play against Wagner. Frazier picks up the dribble. Sweatman, pull-up jumper, no good. May have been deflected. And here comes Strickland. Sharks with a 2-point lead. A little over 7 minutes gone by. Bruce Beal, Joe DeSantis from the Dietrich Gym. LIU 3-0. The Blue Devils 2-1 in the NEC. Driving is Lee. Frazier gets another rebound. He's going to be a good player, Joe. Doesn't get a ton of playing time, Max Frazier. Matter of fact, only played 10 minutes in the game versus Wagner, but he's already got his 3rd rebound.
You know, Bruce, you shouldn't be judged by the quantity of your minutes, but the quality. 68% from the field, 3 rebounds in 13 minutes per game. That's big time.
And now he's got Strickland on him. He taps it to himself, gets caught underneath, pumps it out for Jones. Shot clock at 2. Day-Day's got to put it up. Jones does at the buzzer, and it's an air ball. And the rebound grab by Fuller. Boy, Frazier just got himself caught in a tough position, right? A little too far underneath the backboard.
Well, again, you have to have proper spacing. And it's not a bad idea, Bruce, if you kick it out and then repost. Get the position you want.
3-pointer, no good, off the mark by Lee. And Frazier grabs his 4th rebound of the game. See if the Blue Devils can get out on the run before LIU settles in their defense. Backdoor, Frazier! It's rejected, but a foul called on Fuller. So a nice job right there by the Blue Devils. Little give and go, and Frazier will get a couple free throws, try to tie the game. This is Blue Devil basketball on NEC Front Row and the On the Run app.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Paul Dottino with the NEC Notebook, delivered to you by WB Mason. FDU's Terrence Brown is the NEC Player of the Week for the second time this season. He tied a career high with 28 points and matched his mark of 10 rebounds in the win over Wagner. It was also his first career double-double. The Rookie of the Week is Stonehill's Herman Kofi, who goes back-to-back. He set a personal best with 17 points to turn back St. Francis, hitting on 4 of 8 from downtown. On the women's side, Player of the Week honors for the third time go to Sharon Hayward of Stonehill. She combined to shoot 12 of 17 from behind the arc and averaged 22 points to lead victories over Mercyhurst and St. Francis. In fact, she dropped a season-high 29 on the Red Flash. Chicago State's Deanna Culver takes home the Rookie Award. The freshman averaged 14 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, and 2 steals in a split. Catch free live conference action on necfrontrow.com and follow the season on X at NEC Sports and the web at northeastconference.org.
More than 10,000 students have chosen to study at this major New England university, but thankfully, you'll share classes with just a few of them at a time. Time for a fresh view of CCSU.
.11:37 remaining here in the first half. Well, you know, looking at the score, 7-5, you would say, well, not exactly action-packed, but it really has been. It's, you know, the team's not shooting the ball well, but that's a credit to, I think, the defense of both teams as Frazier hits on the first field goal. Joe, Blue Devils came into the game 55 out of 101 from inside the arc. All right, that's 54, just under 55%. They're only 1 for 8 in this game. As Jeff Mead pointed out to me, messing up that stat right there.
Yeah, well, there are such things as scouting reports. And as the season goes on,
right,
especially in conference, everybody's going to know what you do, who you are. Guys move up and down the scouting report. So it's important, Bruce, that not necessarily you change things up, but you just got to get better and tougher in what you do.
Frazier comes out of the game. Momo comes back in for him. So Blue Devils going 3 guards now here as Lee, who's checked into the game, lost the ball, but Strickland gets it back. Fuller, a move underneath. He lost it. Should be Blue Devil ball. Oh, I mean, I don't know what. I mean, you maybe could have called a foul, but.
Well, they didn't call a foul, so you can't. It's got to be. You got to make the right. We're going to get a look here. A lot of contact in here.
Maybe JB touched it.
No.
Yeah, that should be Blue Devil ball,
Yeah.
but
Missed call. It happens.
here's Davis, played by Jones. I mentioned the 3-guard offense. Sweatman, Jones, and Ostrowski in the game. He's guarding Strickland with 10 to shoot. Double screen. He goes right. Tipped by Jones and another steal for the Blue Devils. See if they can cash in here. We're tied at 7. Lee in the game guarding Momo. He only played 3 minutes in the win over Stonehill. Jones double teamed, and we're going to get a, well, it's a charge. Looked like he wanted to call a block, but changed his mind, and a charge.
Bruce, you had mentioned to me about the score being low, but the action being high.
Yeah.
You can judge the intensity. Here's a replay. That's always the
Did he give him a chance
call.
to land right there, Joe?
I don't think so.
Yep.
I know there's a close call, but you can judge the intensity of the game by the amount of bodies that hit the floor and also the amount of deflected passes. You've seen a lot of that.
One of these teams, well, if the Blue Devils win, they'll be 3-1 and have the tiebreaker over LIU, and the Sharks would have sole possession of first place, well, at least with 4 wins. Malachi Davis switches hands and lays it in.
That's the reason why he was recruited to go to Arizona State,
Yeah.
okay? He saw forget about the shot, which was fantastic, but he recognized the mismatch he had with the bigger Jaden Brown on him. So he's not going to jack up a 3. He took him off the dribble, laid it in.
2-3 zone now. Ostrowski drives baseline, lost it, and it remains central ball. So Sharks have turned it over 4 times, the Blue Devils 6. And Central's got 3 steals, as does LIU. Shot clock at 10. Jaden Brown, I mean, he's guarded by Strickland. See if he goes down low. They double team Jordan Jones. Sweatman's going to have to take a long 3. Banks it in. Reminded me of Talik Brown versus Pittsburgh in 2002 versus UConn.
I don't know if he
And there's a
plans
reason why I remember that.
You know, if you shoot it with arc and you shoot it with backspin and you shoot it straight, it's got a chance to go in.
It's a horse shot right there, right? Called glass. Strickland down low for Lee. He can't dribble again. Well, I guess he can. Cutting his Lander. Shot clock at 10. Here's Strickland. Splits the defense, drives, and leaves it in. That looked like his daddy right there.
Well, Terell Strickland is not out to fill his own pockets. He's out to win games. So he plays against the defense.
Jaden Brown takes it to the hole and gets fouled. You know, Jaden Brown this year, Joe, his role's changed a little bit as he's he's taken a lot more threes than he ever has. But you still want to see, somebody with his size operate down low.
Well, you become a tough matchup if you can play in different areas of the court, okay? If you got a small guy on him, you should post up. If you got a bigger guy on you, you can play a little more of a perimeter game and not just shooting threes. I'm talking about moving without the ball. Right now, free throws are a problem for this Central team.
He was early. But it's a big reason why they lost the last game. 12 out of 21, and Jaden Brown was 2 for 4 from the line. He's now 2 for 6 in 3 NEC games, JB.
You don't. All those years, the Syracuse teams were never good free throwing shooting teams. You don't want it to become a mental thing where you have to think about going to the foul line and think about, not making a mistake. You want to go there with confidence.
Here's Lander moving in for a little pull-up jumper against Haid. Ostrowski tips the ball, and Frazier grabs another rebound for the Blue Devils. Joe trying to run, but they get back. That's the 4th rebound officially for Frazier. Oh, Haid missed Frazier. Joe will try a 3. It's no good. And the rebound grabbed by Strickland underneath. That's his 4th rebound. Malachi Davis takes a look. Something tells me if that was late in the game and it was a tie game, he's not giving that ball up.
No.
Strickland drives, pumps, gets it for Lee underneath, who lays it in. Another nice job by Terell Strickland. 2nd assist of the game, 1st bucket for Lee.
Hey, Bruce, the first thing you work on shell defense is rotations on baseline drives. Not a great job by Central rotating when Terell Strickland drew the big man on the defense.
Boy, Sweatman's feeling it if he's taking it from that far. That was from Newington. It's short, and LIU controls. With a 3-point lead, Blue Devils have scored 10 points in the first 12.5 minutes. They double-team Strickland. Lee, demonstrative to the rack. It's tipped around. Lander comes away with it, knocked out of bounds. It'll be, they call foul. I thought Frazier might have slapped the backboard also on that play. Could have called the goaltend.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's an automatic goaltend, but if it does influence the shot, it is.
I think that's what Rod Strickland's talking about. We'll take a break. It's a 3-point lead for the visitors. This is Blue Devil basketball, NEC Front Row, and the On the Run app.
Central Connecticut State University. We are central to innovation. Explore our new state-of-the-art XR lab where virtual reality ignites your curiosity. We are central to academic success. We offer a world-class education and internships with Fortune 500 companies. We are central to you. Enjoy campus life, clubs, museums, parks, and our Blue Devil Division I athletic teams. 90 minutes from New York City or Boston. Visit us at ccsu.edu.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Students aren't back yet. We did have a good crowd in the last game, over 2,400 people, based on the fact that it was New Britain Day, and it was also Park and Rec Day, so there was a bunch of screaming kids here. But students don't get back for a couple weeks, right, Jeff? I think students back a couple weeks, I think, something like that. What did he say?
22nd.
Oh, the 22nd.
The boss said 22nd.
Yeah. He's not too far out of school. Although even if it was the 22nd, he probably wouldn't have come back to the 30th. Another turnover on LIU as stepping on the sideline was, I believe, Lander. Yep.
Now, good job by Central. Don't poo-poo this. Central did a good job in the scouting report. LIU does two things out of bounds. They run a box or they run a line. Whenever they run a line, they'll run two guys off it in the curl. Force the guy to catch the ball in a non-scoring area. That time he pushed him out far enough where he stepped on the sideline. Good scouting, good job by Central.
Nice back door as Hayes sticks with it and lays it in. Nice pass by Frazier. And that's so important. If LIU is going to do what you mentioned about Wagner, they really, they overplay. So you do have the opportunity to go back door, and that's what Central did right there. Lee down low taking Frazier, Smitty. Pops it outside for a triple by Lander. Brick City rebounded by Frazier, his 5th of the game. Blue Devils down a point. Hayde hangs in the air. Now Smitty. Hayde looking down low, pumps it for Frazier, who lays it up no good, gets it back, puts it up, he's fouled. Frazier, good position that time, but couldn't finish, but he'll get 2 free throws.
Well, he was guarded by Malachi Davis, okay, on the switching. Again, you're going to see the replay. See, actually got away with a little bit of a push-up.
Yeah.
See, I would like Max Frazier not just to call for the ball over the top, but try and establish position in front of the defender, and especially if it's a mismatch, okay? If the guy's on the high side, expect a low bounce pass on the baseline side and vice versa. But it's good that Central is starting to recognize the mismatches. Got to take advantage of it any way you can.
Frazier misses on the free throw.
Jalen Lee and number 33, Jamal Fuller.
Frazier made his first 2, but that's the 3rd straight miss from the free throw line for the Blue Devils.
You just got to look at Central staff, and I mentioned earlier about Central knows who they are. It's not an easy thing these days with all the transfers. You're getting players come in. Now, Central does have the benefit of 4 guys that have played 4 years for them, but certainly they've had to bring in some new players that have to adjust. Devin Hayde came from Division II. So it's important, if you know who you are as early as you can, you're going to be a better team.
Little token pressure by the Blue Devils to slow down LIU. Blue Devils 23%, Joe, 4 for 17. LIU 6 out of 17, 35%. Little 3-2 zone here now. In the middle, Fuller, nicely done. He missed on the shot, and Frazier grabs his 6th rebound. Sweatman on the right for Ostrowski. Jones on the bench. Make that Jordan Jones. We have not seen James Jones yet in the game. Ostrowski thought about it. Man-to-man by LIU. Sweatman, little hesitation. Smitty, 5 to shoot. He's going to have to pump it up. Line drives it, no good. Good defense by LIU. Terell Strickland thought he was fouled. Davis picks up the dribble, and you got to jump on him right away, Joe.
Yeah, you have to. You got to belly up to him.
And, deny the ball. Although, look at this matchup. Fuller against Sweatman. Day reaches in and rips him off. Hayde for 3. No good. Can't get it going. And I think Patrick Sellers saying, look, man, you can get that shot anytime, right?
You can probably get a better one if you move the ball. The teams that are harder to guard are the ones that make you guard on the length of the court by pushing and the width of the court by reversing. Couple extra passes, you would have got something better.
Outside on the perimeter, Lassou for Strickland. Strickland picks up the dribble. Fuller. Strickland 5 to shoot. In the lane, in the corner. Lee drives, pumps, and hits. Right before the 30-second clock went off. Solid move by Jalen Lee. Had 6 points, 2 rebounds in the win over Stonehill. Jones and Momo over to the bench. Boy, Blue Devils are approaching a low for the half. 12 points with 4:10 remaining. Frazier, tough shot, gets it to go with the right hand. Talk about ambidextrous, Joe.
Yeah, it's a good move. And again, he had the smaller Malachi Davis. Yep. And it's not only that you got the size difference, but it's going to be easier for perimeter players to get you the ball.
4.7 rebounds for Frazier here. Cuts it to 1. Strickland always with the head up. His jumper's good.
Let me tell you something. The one thing about this LIU team, they got good balance.
Hayde lost the ball on the pass, trying to get a dunk. Now Davis pulls up. Under control, no reset. Strickland holds up 2 fingers. You got Jones and Momo ready to check in next dead ball. Nice lob down low, but Hayde from the weak side made the steal but stepped out of bounds. 3-point lead for LIU. They'll have the rock when we get back after this media timeout. This is Blue Devil basketball on NEC Front Row and the On The Run app.
Frazier starting to break all the way. He dunks with the right hand.
Here is Talley with the basketball. Nice feed underneath the Parrish for 2.
Running her down. Renninger twirling through traffic. Wow.
Bounces down low to Caroma. Position. 2-handed slam. One. Williams has to put it up. Oh! He feed it in. Jusianic, 3 seconds left. To Blunt, looking for the 3. Got it! Puts it on the deck! And send it in! Miles Webb!
Oh, great pass.
Great play and laying it up and in. Capozzi on the drive against Dogs. Flips it up and in with 1.8 to go.
At this New England university, you can choose from more than 100 degree programs, all for the lowest tuition of any four-year college in Connecticut. Time for a fresh view of CCSU.
Hate to bring up gaudy numbers, but you just have to. Right now, Central is 5 for 21 from the floor. So you go back to the second half versus the Wagner game, right, where they were 8 for 28.
Yeah, well, you're looking at the LIU bench. We talked about Rod Strickland. The other fellow standing is Derek Phelps, who had a terrific. There's argument that the two best. He had a terrific career at North Carolina. There's argument about the 2 best guards in the Shiver suits.
Yes. I bet you they could still play, right?
It looked like it.
Jordan Jones checked back into the game. A little push off, a little fall away jumper. Just can't get it to go, and Momo's going to be called for the foul underneath. You know it's going to come for Jordan Jones. It's just a matter of when. And he has not scored in the first half. Did not score in the first half the other night as well.
Yeah, he's just too good of a player. See, he's a player that doesn't. If you're just a shooter, okay, we'll take you away. Then you become a non-factor. Jordan Jones has too many things on the court.
Oh, he's just, we call him a freight train going to the basket. And he does that so well and draws fouls. But again, it's about scouting too, right? You play enough games and people are going to figure out what you're going to do. Now, Lee wants to take Ostrowski down low. Shot clock at 7. They get it to Strickland, fires a 3, and knocks it down. He thought he was fouled as well.
Terell Strickland should be playing on Sundays. He's another one that's got a football body.
Before that one, he was 1 for 8 from 3 in his first 3 conference games. Tipped away, look out. And nice play by Lassou. They alley-oop for him, and he throws it down. And Patrick Sellers is going to use that 30-second timeout.
Bruce, sometimes 2-point baskets mean more than 2-point baskets in terms of momentum. But if you're a team that offensively can score, if you can create points with your defense, even on the road, you're going to be tough to beat.
And Terell Strickland off to a great start. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's 3 for 3 from the floor and 1 for 1 from behind the arc.
I always talked about when back in the day when I coached Quinnipiac, and we used to play Central, of course, with the great Howie Dickman.
Looked like they used the same uniforms almost.
Yeah, that's a good call. I always talked about if you come into Central's gym, all right, and you don't match their intensity, that the Central's going to give you, then you're automatically going to be down 10 points. LIU has come in with a chip on their shoulder and certainly has played. Oh, speaking of Howie.
Yep, he's here.
And
probably not loving what he's seeing right now, especially when you get out rebounded.
You know, they used to talk about the Quinnipiac Central rivalry, and even when I was coaching, I'd say, what rivalry? We beat them one time in all the years I was there.
I remember that game well. Here's Jordan Jones. There's vintage Double J. Doesn't get it to go, pumps it back up, and Strickland grabs the rebound, and no one's taking that from him. I tell you right now, he's put together better than, well, you know, his father was probably about 165 pounds, quick as a lick, but Strickland is solid. They list him at 175 pounds. Fuller, he can make that shot. Nice ball fake, takes it to the rack. It's blocked by Smitty, and the loose ball is Jones. Beg your pardon, that was James Jones coming away with it. Smith may have got the block there.
Hey, Bruce, I have to give Central a lot of credit. In the paint, they've done a good job of knocking shots and knocking balls away.
Well, that was much-needed three. Ostrowski didn't get it to go, and the rebound grabbed underneath by LIU. Well, the least points the Blue Devils have scored this year, Joe, and a half, was 26 at Sacred Heart. And unless there's a wild flurry at the end of this half, they just got to hope they keep it within single digits here. Down 8. Davis, 5 to shoot. You know he's going. Steps back for a triple. No good. Jordan Jones the rebound. 40 seconds left. Jones, Ostrowski. Bounce pass now in the corner. Smitty backing his man down. Lost it. Saved it for Jones. In the tough spot in the corner. Oh, he's bumped by Davis. Wow. Hey, listen. Jordan Jones doesn't mind playing that game, trust me.
Oh, no, he's another physical player now.
And Malachi Davis got a little physical there, and that's 1-1 actually now for the Blue Devils. 17 foul for
1-1.
You know, you and I talking about doing a post-game Yankee hot stove thing, but let's bring up baseball not too far away. This foul shot's very, very important.
It is.
For Jones. It's like, you know, getting that bunt single when you're in an 0 for 20 slump.
Yep. Little things, right? He was 0 for 2 from the line. Very uncharacteristic the other night. 2 for 5 in 3 conference games. Very unlike Jordan Jones. Makes 2. And Dede Sweatman comes into the game, replacing Joe Ostrowski. And we know Central doesn't foul either, Joe. 3rd in the country in fouling least fouls per game. That was another trait of Howie's teams back in the day.
Yeah, a little under 12 fouls per game, 11.8. Now, if you're LIU, you want to take a shot with 4 or less. If you do that, you can crash 5 guys, give you a chance for a second shot. At the same time, if you miss, you won't give Central a chance to score at the other end.
Blue Devils do have fouls to give, though. They've only 3 team fouls. That one goes on Jordan Jones. Now, look for an isolation here. Malachi Davis is going to do a little coaching for you here if you want. Malachi Davis is going to inbounds the ball, and he's probably going to try to get it right back from Strickland. Oh, that's a tough spot where he threw it to him. So Strickland's going to take it himself. His pull-up jumper is no good, but it's tipped back up and in from the weak side, and there you go. He took the shot.
Well, you just mentioning that name gives me nightmares. So please don't mention any more former Central players, especially back in the 90s and the early 2000s.
He's sitting right across from you, Joe. Javier Mojica, a walk-on, ended up being Player of the Year in the NEC. Great story. All right, here we go. Sharks with the basketball to begin the second half. Short on a 3. Is Davis, but another offensive rebound, this one by LIU. That's the 6th offensive rebound of the game for LIU, and they'll reset. Davis with a little hesitation, a spin, switches hands, ball tipped out, and Davis comes away with it. 50-50 balls.
Well, they do average, LIU does, about 12 offensive rebounds a game. Central, not so much, a little under 9. There's been a lot of opportunities, Bruce, for offensive rebound. A lot of missed shots in this game.
Nice pass by Strickland. Fuller gave it up, though, to Davis, who drives. Little teardrop. No good. He got the offensive rebound. And finally, Devin Hade comes away with it. Listen, I know Wagner's a physical team, but this is a different LIU team than I'm used to seeing. They are very, very physical and skilled in the backcourt, of course, with Strickland and Malachi Davis.
Yeah, you watch 20 minutes. You watch games on film, the preparation, you don't see it. 20 minutes here, you're looking at a team that has a chance to be a high-level team in this conference.
And Abdul Momo just did exactly what Javier Mojica was working with him right before the beginning of the second half. He got a nice seal. He caught it. Terrific footwork, and he'll get 2 free throws.
Well, the key thing is to keep the ball up. When you're that big and you're that strong, and again, we talked about Day Sweetman probably being the 6th man of the year in this conference. You're looking at possibly the most improved player in this conference. Last year, with Alan Jean Rose joining the program, Momo did not get a chance to play as much probably as he wanted to. Averaged about 4.2 points. This year, he's doubled that, 8.6. He's 61%. And forget about the numbers. Just his overall intensity inside is huge. Just got to make these free throws.
Yeah, 73% coming into the game. He went 5 for 8 from the line in the last game in a 7.6 rebound effort. Makes 1 out of 2 when the Blue Devils trail at 24-17. Bruce Beal, Joe DeSantis, Trevor Beal, Matt Paradis, and the NEC front row crew. Nice rotation. Fuller underneath banks it in. Boy, he moved well for a big guy, Joe. He moves well without the ball.
Well, we both heard from Patrick Sellers. He waxes poetic about Fuller. He can shoot the 3. He doesn't take a lot of them, and he certainly can move without the ball.
Jones for 3. Splash! Much needed as Jordan Jones connects on his first field goal. That's the Blue Devils' first field goal since 4:11 left in the first half.
And again, it comes from your player that gives you the most in terms of plays for himself and his teammates. So let's see if that 3. I talked about 2-point baskets being more, meaning more in terms of intensity and momentum, rather. Let's see if that 3 can elevate the intensity and the momentum for this Blue Devil team.
They cut it to 6. Still in a man-to-man. Lassou trying to find Davis, but good denial by Jordan Jones, one of the best defensive players in the NEC. Now Fuller off the glass, no, and Momo grabs the rebound for the Blue Devils. Here comes Jones. Double J, pull-up jumper, in and out, halfway down. Good shot as that one rattled around. Now Strickland gets it ahead, but Haid diving over the scorer's table. Jack Sweeney couldn't. I thought he was going to take the charge.
Jack came over at halftime to talk about a rule that we had asked him about.
And Jack Sweeney's the head of official coordinator for the NEC.
And I told him he earned his money by giving us some advice on that goaltending or non-goaltending call. It certainly deserved his pay on that one over there.
How about that move by Strickland? Didn't get it to go, and then he tackles Devin Haid. Man, he is a physical point guard. Terell Strickland. I've touched on it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. This LIU team, I almost said it, Sharks, is more physical than I remember in a while.
Right, and let's not forget Terrell's brother, Taj Strickland. Okay, last year leading scorer, was a terrific player. So obviously genes run wild in that family.
It was a family affair. Rod Strickland took over last year. It's his second year.
And Terrell only played in 18 of the 29 games because of injuries last year.
A post down low for Momo. He's double teamed, almost travels. Ostrowski couldn't find the 3. Jones will try it. No good. Back rimmed it. Haid tipped, but Fuller comes away with it.
You almost feel that the staff of Central told Jordan Jones he's got to take this game over because he's coming out and playing confident. You got to like that.
Strickland lobs it down low for Lassou in the corner. A 3 by Davis, no good. Long rebound for Ostrowski. Gets it ahead for Haid, who drives and throws it down with the right hand.
Joe Ostrowski, another one of the 3 point guards. Central Connecticut has a positive assist-to-turnover ratio. Head's always up, making the right play.
Nice job by Joe on that one. Cuts it to 4. Strickland wants a pick. He goes right. Now Momo picks him up. Strickland. Davis spinning. Up with the right hand and good.
How do you guard that? So you play good defense if you're Jordan Jones. You take him going left. He spins and puts it up with the other hand.
Again, coming off a 27-point game where he was 12 for 18 from the floor. 4 rebounds in 37 minutes versus Stonehill. Another thing about Malachi Davis, he's 23 years old, too. A redshirt junior.
That's the norm now,
yeah,
my friend.
Yeah, I know. Here's Haid. He'll try for 3. No good. Long rebound, weak side. Now Ostrowski gets it back. It's short. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by LIU. And I will tell you, Joe, the Blue Devils have picked it up intensity-wise, without a doubt.
No doubt, no doubt.
6-point lead for LIU. We'll be back. This is Blue Devil basketball, NEC Front Row, and the On the Run Hour.
For years, they competed against each other. But every 4 years, they take on the world. They represent our schools and our country. We are proud to say, Olympians are made here.
Live like you don't want to waste a second. Because you got a second chance. You got an appointment. You saw a nationally known cardiac surgeon, and he saw something. And within days, you had a new aortic valve, new energy, and a whole new life. Live with all your heart. With Hartford Healthcare's Heart and Vascular Institute.
You can run, but you can't hide, Kevin Pappas. The former assistant at Central Connecticut started out as a manager with Josh Shearer for Howie Dickerman. And then, of course, an assistant coach here at Central Connecticut and at Sacred Heart with Anthony Latina.
And it looks like he just left the Yankees organization because he's growing some facial hair there. Never saw him with that kind of growth.
Jeez, I think I knew Kevin when he couldn't grow facial hair. Always good to see him. Great camera shot, as always, by the NEC Front Row crew. Jordan Jones. Momo's trying to post up. Ostrowski gets it to him. Played by Davis. He spins, double-teamed, lost it, got it back, and banked it in. Hell-bent, as the great Walt Frazier would say on that one. 28-24.
62% coming into the game. Yeah. That's a 0-footer. He gets position, he's not going to miss it.
He was 1 for 7 last game. Very surprising, but Wagner did a great job, as they always do. Now Ostrowski picking up Strickland. Bounce pass down low. LeSue got it back. Strickland with 10 to shoot. Wants a screen. Gets it. Instead goes left. Goes right in and lays it in. So Joe thought he was going to go right. Instead, Strickland took it to the left.
Well, this Joe knows that kid can play. Yeah. And, we talk about Malachi Davis. Terell Strickland may be the key to this team.
Double figures with 10. Strickland and Jordan Jones knifes in and a little jump hook. That's already the 4th field goal attempt of this half for Jordan Jones and his 2nd in the half.
Bruce, I always talk about on my broadcast, it's not necessarily how many you make, it's when you make them. And Jordan Jones has given this team a lift in the second half.
I mean, he may have gone into the locker room and said, look, I'm sorry, I'm 0 for 6. And like you said, keep shooting, right? You're our leader. You're our leading scorer. Rebound by Momo. Jones up the gut. Goes to the right. Alley-oops, and Haid tried to dunk it with one hand, and it'll be LIU basketball. 2 hands, like the great DeMatt, the high school coach, would say, right?
You got 2 hands, you got 2 eyes, you got to use them. Looking more for style in that situation. So many times you see on alley-oop the ball thrown to the player. That's wrong. You got to throw it to the rim. That ball was laying on the rim. I could have. No, maybe not. I could.
Listen.
Don't get carried away.
No, listen, Joe could light it up in his day at Fairfield, right?
I was allergic to the rim, though. I just wanted to stay out here. Hey, how about this 3-point line? Forget about it. I move forward.
A lot of people. Steve Ayers here at Central, right? They didn't have that when he was here. All right, here's Davis, 1-on-1. Shot clock at 15. Davis steps back. Davis out for Fuller. Again, he can make that, and he does. Fuller can shoot the 3. He's a big guy, but he hit a huge one. That's his 5th of the year in conference play. Hit a big one versus Stonehill in the 10-point win. And again, instead of a 2-point lead, as Haid thought about it, leaves it underneath. Brown got fouled underneath. So You know, it was a big play, right? I mean, you have an alley-oop, you have a chance to cut the lead to 2. Now, a slam dunk, and, you know, everybody goes crazy, the crowd gets into it, but instead, you don't cash in. LIU hits a 3, right? And you're down 6.
Bruce,
7.
You're right on. There are plays that determine the game, not just in the last 2 minutes. Sometimes it determines the game in the beginning of the second half. Now, I'm not saying that play is going to determine the game, but there are momentum breakers. That was one of them.
Listen, I'll never forget when Central was an 8 seed playing Monmouth, and they were up 11 at the half, and Javier Mojica kind of short-armed a layup, would have put us up 13. Ended up losing by 2 because Marcus Alston banked in the shot at the buzzer. Would have been the only 8 seed to beat a 1 seed.
Marcus Alston, Neptune, New Jersey, tried to recruit him at Quinnipiac.
There's been some 7 seeds that beat 2 seeds, right, Joe?
Oh, remember that well. That was a great year. And, you know, we came
at Wagner.
Yeah, we beat the 2nd seed, the 3rd seed, UMBC. Central dominated that league. I came in here as loose as a goose as I ever been. We had nothing to lose. We played well, but that Central team was just dominating.
Let me tell you something, and we'll get back to. I talked to people Jeff Jacobs, sports writers, people said that still was one of the best events they've ever been to. And these are guys who've gone to Super Bowls and everything.
I heard it from coaches who watched the game on TV. That was one of the best games they've ever seen.
Shot clock at 2. Lee, fall-away jumper is good. I mean, you know, what are you going to do? Jalen Lee with, you know, the shot clock at 1, hits a fadeaway jumper. LIU back up by 7.
Yeah, the freshman from Atlanta. He's got a great body. He's got a lot of potential, and certainly making an impact on this LIU team.
Smitty corner triple, no good. Offensive rebound pulled down by Hade. Hade, I thought he was going to try for the 3. Instead, he hangs in the air and banks it in. That's what he can do. Devin Hade, that terrific body control. We've seen that all year, and he cuts it to 5.
Yeah, guys like Devin Hade and Malachi Davis, they have the ability to get to where they want to go. That's huge. They also have the ability to make tough shots look easy.
He's got 9. Blue Devil defense has picked it up here in the second half as the shot clock's been winding down, but here's Davis, one of the best in the conference with the ball, with the shot clock winding down, and that's why. He hangs in the air, switches hands, friendly rim, but again, that's what I saw Davis do. I watched that Stonehill game, and he did it late in the shot clock, late in the game. Hade tries a 3 and hits. He thought he got fouled as well. He's a streaky guy, Joe.
And that's not an easy shot. He's coming to his left side, going the opposite way, the weak side. Caught it and just jumped over the defender.
He really thought he was hacked on the arm as well. 37-33, 11 and a half remaining. Strickland pushing off. Ball fake. Lander, he's due. No good. Smitty the rebound for the Blue Devils. Here comes Jordan Jones. You can bet your last dollar he's going to the rack, and he banks it in. Rod Strickland thinking about a timeout. I believe he's trying to call. He wants him to get to half court and then call timeout as Davis takes the time. We'll stay here, Joe, as the Blue Devils have cut it to 2 with 11:03 remaining. And yeah, Jordan Jones has been asserting himself.
No doubt. Again, I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse or a live horse or whatever, but bottom line here is the intensity has picked up. And look at this shot. That is not an easy shot. He's going away from the basket off 1 foot and trapped.
Then you mentioned his body control right here.
Yeah, going to the left. We didn't see if there was a foul. He called for the foul. But again, Devin Hade, Jordan Jones, these are 2 guys who offensively are as good as anybody in the leagues. They need to pick up their intensity, and they have.
And that's what's happening. And they're not waiting either, right? The shot clock is, you know, like I talked to Patrick before the game. When you play a team, especially like Wagner and maybe even LIU, from what I'm looking at here, you don't worry about getting into your offense when you have the opportunity, right? When the opportunity presents itself, when you have players like Jordan Jones and Devin Hade who can create, why not take it? And that's what's happening in the second half.
Well, there's a thing called game slippage, and amongst coaches, what that means is you practice things every day, and then when you come out in the game, you don't play that way. Now, the defense, the opponent has something to do with that. The bottom line is these two teams, this Central team is going to go as far as Jordan Jones and Devin Hay takes them. So you're either going to win with them or you're going to lose with them. Come out and play 100%. That's all you need to do.
I believe the next dead ball will be immediate timeout as Jordan Jones has come out of the gate. They'll get him a little blow. Devin Hay having a conversation with one of the officials now, as you see, about the possible foul call. One thing I like about Malachi Davis, too, he did get a little chippy with Jordan Jones, but he's a cool, calm customer.
Yeah, he is. He plays. And let's go a couple numbers here, okay? Here's what I'm talking about. Jordan Jones and Devin Hay have 14 of the 19 Central points in the second half. And in the first half, they were pretty much non-existent. They combined for 7.
Here's Lander trying to post up on JB. Pushes off. Fadeaway jumper short. Shot clock did not reset. Smitty picks up the loose ball. Blue Devils on a 7-2 run right now. Again, with Jordan Jones on the bench, getting a blow. Jaden Brown hasn't had a good look at a 3 in this game. He can shoot it. Smitty will try. He's due. Back rim, no good. Tipped out, and coming away with it is Lee. Volleyballed to Jalen Lee. Joe mentioned his size. You know, rock, 6'7", 212. Only going to get stronger. Here's Lander again. This time he nails it.
Blake Lander for 3.
He was wide open, about 3 or 4 feet behind the arc. He was 0 for 2 from 3. First field goal for him. He's 1 for 6. Big shot.
But 58% of his field goal attempts are 3. So when he has it, you got to try and contest him. And it starts before that, actually. Get him out of his comfort zone.
Here's Brown posting up on Strickland. JB puts it on the deck. They double team, so they give it to Smitty, who pumps. Lost it out of bounds, but it was touched by LIU. 9:36 remaining as the Blue Devils will have it underneath. It's a media timeout. We'll take it with them. A good one here at the Dietrich Gym. Blue Devil basketball, NEC Front Row, and the On the Run app.
Frazier starting to break all the way. He dunks with the right hand. Here is Talley with the basketball. Nice feed underneath the Parrish for 2.
Running her down. Running her, twirling through traffic. Wow.
Bounces down low to Karoma. Position, 2-handed slam. Williams has to put it up. Oh! He feed it in. Jusianic, 3 seconds left to Blunt, looking for the 3. Got it! Puts it on the deck and send it in. Miles Webb.
Oh, great pass.
Great play and laying it up and in. Bobosi on the drive against Dogs. Flips it up and in with 1.8 to go.
At this New England university, you can choose from more than 100 degree programs, all for the lowest tuition of any four-year college in Connecticut. Time for a fresh view of CCSU.
All right, back at the Dietrich Gym, Bruce Beal with Joe DeSantis, who's sitting in for Mark Robbins. The best to Mark and his family. Mark lost his father at the age of 89 years old last night. 5 to shoot, by the way, as Sweatman, the smallest player on the floor, has to get it in. He does for Devin Hay, who penetrates, drives, hangs, well, halfway down, but a foul called. And Hay should get 2 shots here. Joe's been talking a lot about the NEC and the parity. Give you some other scores right now. 15:38 left second half as FDU leading St. Francis PA by 1. That game in Teaneck and Hackensack. It's at FDU, right?
Terrell Brown for FDU, one of the leading scorers in the country. Terrific player.
Hayes' free throw is no good. Free throw woes continue. Lemoyne off to a Buffalo Bills start, leading Mercyhurst 10-0 about 5 minutes into the first half. And just underway, Stonehill with an early 9-5 lead over Chicago State. 1 out of 2 for Devin Hade, who was 10 for 10 in his last 3 games in conference play. So he hits on 1 out of 2, and the lead is 4 for LIU. Sweatman picking up Strickland in the backcourt. They double team now. Lander, he'll try again. Feeling it. Joe mentioned when he shoots, it's from behind the arc usually. Rod Strickland with a big smile on his face. He's hit his last 2. The lead is back to 7. Jordan Jones remains on the bench for the Blue Devils. Hade. JB down low, lobs it down. Tough pass underneath for Frazier as they've got the two going a little height, not twin towers, but with Frazier and Brown. They've done that a lot this year. They've both been very complimentary with passes to each other. Shot clock at 11. Day-Day to inbounds for Ostrowski. Now JB with 7 to shoot. Ostrowski trying to drive, cut off. Need to get it to Day-Day. 2 to shoot. Down low. Does he get it off in time? He did, but Frazier didn't get it to go. Boy, Sweatman probably wishes he shot that one, no?
Well, he would have had to bank it like he did in the first half.
Yeah, from straight away. 8.5 remaining. Momo over to the scorer's table. Let's see if LIU is a little deliberate here. Malachi Davis, though, smells blood, and his jump hook with the right hand is good.
Bruce, he's both-handed. He's amphibious.
Here's Day-Day out for Hade. Just like that, it's a 9-point lead. Hade in traffic. His bank shot is good. 15 for Hade to lead the Blue Devils. Only player in double figures. Jones has 9, all in the second half. Strickland. Boy, he's really tough to handle, huh? He's very physical, too.
Low to the ground, good handle, left, right. Again, coach's son knows how to play.
Malachi Davis has the shot rejected by Frazier. Outlet for Joe. He's got JB on the right. Joe to the rack. Tough shot. Won't go, but the hustle by Max Frazier. And he throws it down with 2 hands, and it's down to 5.
Again, if you're struggling to score, you got to find ways to score. Get some easy ones. Also in transition, you're harder to block out. Good job following the play by Central.
How about Frazier with the rejection and then hustle down for the dunk?
There you go.
They go down low for Lander. Lost it. Oh, Day-Day thought he had a steal. But I believe that was Josh Burton who said, well, one of the officials did not agree. And it's a foul on Devontae Sweatman. 5-point lead. We'll take a break. 7:11 remaining. Blue Devil basketball, NEC front row.
It's now time for the
Blue Devils trying to creep back into it, trailing it 45-40. The foul on Devontae Sweatman. But before that, a little highlight reel for Max Frazier. First, the rejection and the rebound. And, of course, Ostrowski got himself in a tough position. But look who shows up to clean it up. Max Frazier.
Yeah, I mentioned it's harder to block out when you're in transition, when you have numbers. So Frazier follows the ball. Made that Bill Russell block, blocking and keeping it in bounds.
Yep, that's what he used to do. He used to keep it to himself, too. The miss and a nice play underneath. Davis missed on the shot, but good hustle by LeSue. Yeah, Bill Russell, man, I mean, not only did he keep it in bounds, right, he used to keep it to himself sometimes. And he could block with either hand. He was a lefty, right? But he would block shots with both hands. Well, Joe, I see you looking at numbers. Blue Devils have out-rebounded LIU in the second half by 4.
Well, they've become more aggressive, more physical, and that's a big part of certainly dominating the boards. And Central's done a good job on the defensive glass. You know, this is an LIU team I mentioned with 12 offensive rebounds a game. They had 6. They only have 3 now in essentially 13 minutes of play.
Jordan Jones called for the second team foul on the Blue Devils, his second in the game. And now Strickland's fouled by Sweatman. So we were talking off the air. Central has no fouls. That's who they are. But bing, bang, boom, 3 quick ones. Within, 10 seconds?
It's funny you mentioned that Central's one of the top 3 in the country in fouls committed. They have not had a foul out, a disqualification the whole year, Central. LIU's had 14. So no, I don't know if that's a testament to their physicalness, if you will. But
and Pat Sellers comes from obviously the Howie Dickerman tree, right. and the good teams would always make Howie's teams would make more free throws than their opponents attempted. An amazing stat. Here's Strickland going on Sweatman. They run a little weave and get Davis in isolation. He gets a pick. Little hesitation, pumps, right hand, good. Wow. And he's got those long arms.
When I walked into this gym and I saw his size, I was surprised. Again, I watched a couple of films. He doesn't look 6'4" on the film, but you're right, the long arms and the touch around the basket. I'm talking about 10 feet, 12 feet in with the right hand. It's amazing.
Little shake. Does he bake? Down low, Momo. Nice job. Double team. Pumps it up. Good. A lot of contact as well. But Momo invites contact.
Yeah, I think it was Fuller on the defensive end. You got to get on the high side. On that angle pass from the top, that ball should not enter the post.
But this is what makes LIU so tough with a lead. Either Davis has the ball in his mitts or Strickland. And Landers hit some big shots. He's hit back-to-back 3. Here's Strickland in the lane. Outside Fuller. He fakes. 5 to shoot. Pretty good defense by JB. And a rejection by Momo. And here comes Sweatman with the head up. Outside, Haid. Pull up, tough shot. No good, but he'll get 2 free throws. Devin Haid again with the body control. Another player that invites contact a lot. With 5:39 left, 47-42. Huge free throws here for Devin Haid.
You know, he invites contact because he's athletic and he's versatile. He can play anywhere on the court. He's got great body control. You know, we complimented Rod Strickland and his staff for the way they came out and pretty much the intensity they showed this whole game. But you got to compliment the Central staff. They certainly have sent the message to Jordan Jones and Devin Haid. We need you to take over this game.
16 points and 6 rebounds, a couple assists for Devin Haid. He's 2 for 3 from the line. 13 for his last 14 from the free throw line for Devin Haid. 5:39 remaining, and Sweatman picks up Strickland in the backcourt. Strickland handing off for Davis. Jones jumps on him. Davis taking his time. Goes right. Slithering his way in. Now backs it out. And lost it out of bounds. Jordan Jones in his grill.
Great defense. And certainly Malachi Davis is one of those players that's going to benefit. There's a defense. He took away one move, took away another. But Malachi Davis is going to benefit for that no 5-second rule off the dribble.
And nice job by the officials. Yeah, it's a good point. And I love it. It happened right in front of Rod Strickland, and he didn't complain.
No, he doesn't.
It was good defense. Here's JB down low. They need it. No good. He tips it to himself. JB getting physical. Banks it in. Jaden Brown. That's his first field goal. And first and second field goal attempt in the game. And it is a 1-point game here at the Dietrich Gym. Strickland off the pick. Gets it for Fuller. Dribbles it off his foot. Gets it back. Pumps it up. No good. Momo the rebound. The Devils can take the lead. Here's Jones up the gut. Hand off Haid. He wants it. And he's got it. And Rod Strickland very quietly takes a timeout and the Blue Devils lead it by 2, 49-47. We're staying here, man.
Hey, so I'm waxing poetic about the guards, Jones and Haid, in the second half, but you gotta love the defensive work of the Central big man. You know, rebounders, good rebounders are guys. Look at this effort, Jaden Brown uses his size, his strength there to follow it, and the other end, Abdul Momo. I started to make a point. You know, anybody can get rebounds that come to you. The good rebounders are the ones they're not supposed to get. Momo knew that. He needed that rebound. His team needed that rebound. He went up with 2 hands and 2 eyes. That wasn't just a rebound. That was a fierce rebound.
Blue Devils on a 9-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Take a 2-point lead, 49-47. And now Central still, as we mentioned about the rebounding, out-rebounding LIU now 33-30. And 11 offensive rebounds in the game for the Blue Devils, 9 for LIU. And so that's 5 offensive rebounds in the second half for Central Connecticut, resulting in a lead now 10-6, second chance points, Joe.
Yeah, again, Bruce, you and I have talked about it from the moment the first half buzzer sounded. If you don't bring the intensity, you're going to get whacked out of your own gym.
And Jaden Brown looked angry there. You know, JB is one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet, and his game has improved immensely since he was a freshman. But right there, he looked a little angry. There was a guy who played here who, you know, you mentioned Momo, who's done a terrific job in the second half. We'll save that point. It's a 2-point Blue Devil lead. Strickland to bring it up against Sweatman. He's got a little bit of a size on Day-Day. They get it for Lander. Back for Strickland. Running the weave. Here's Lander. Well, they were trying to get it to Lander. It's tipped, and it goes to the Blue Devils right in front of the LIU bench. And again, no complaining from Rod Strickland.
You know, you mentioned earlier about Central going to 3 guards. There's a defensive play. Great job again by Momo, being in the right place, taking away that drive. The 3 guards by Central down the stretch is huge because of their ability to handle the ball and make good plays, and also take away that dribble drive.
Momo gives it up for Haid. Haid has 20 in the game. Wants to go. He drives. Tough shot off the glass. No good. JB tips it out, but here comes Strickland with it. Oh, almost backcourt. Patrick Sellers pointing, but I think he was safe. They'll try to get. Day-Day needs to deny Strickland the ball now, right? Don't let him touch it. Good job, Sweatman. Yep, he's denying the ball. Strickland cuts to the basket. Davis has it. Davis in the lane. Nice ball fake underneath. Rejected by Momo, but he gets it to fall. That ball was tipped by Momo.
End-to-end action, and I love your coaching ability. Absolutely. With that shot clock running down, take away the team's focal point, the point guard, Terell Strickland. But again, Momo active, didn't catch a break on that block shot.
Tough shot, Jordan Jones back rimmed it. Strickland the rebound for LIU. That's a 7th rebound for the point guard, Terell Strickland.
And Bruce, couple of numbers. Central with 3 timeouts, a little under 3 minutes. LIU with 1. If you're Central, you get into any kind of problem offensively, use your timeout.
Hey, let's see if Strickland's going to take Brown off the dribble. Instead, they give it to Malachi Davis. Davis with 10 to shoot. Davis, played by Jones. Big time matchup. Now Strickland. He's going to take JB to the rack. Tough shot. Won't go. Knocked out of bounds. And we get a late call after the miss. It's going to go on Momo. 2:35 remaining. This should bring us to immediate timeout, I think. Or they already took it. Yep. So
we're going to get a look here, Bruce.
All right.
Let's see. All right, there's the mismatch. Jaden Brown having to guard in the small, tough Terell Strickland.
It was after the shot. Really. Yeah.
That's a tough call to make.
Yep. Late call.
I'm not saying it's a wrong call, but it's a tough call to make in that situation.
I mean, it looked like he'd already shot the ball, right? And then kind of maybe then made contact with Momo. His high arcing free throw is good. Well, I'm glad you said it, Joe.
Well, point is that there was a mismatch for a lot of that possession with Jaden Brown having to guard Terell Strickland. I thought at some time during the possession, some communication with Central, getting a better matchup, switching. But I guess you can't this day and age with the three-point attempt. So the bottom line is Central's going to call a timeout, set up one of their late second plays. 2:30 to go. LIU's up 2. This is a big possession, Bruce.
How about those? We'll stay here. It's 30-second timeout. Strickland now 30 for 37 from the free throw line this year. Well, yeah, it's a 2-point game, 2.5 remaining. If you are Patrick Sellers and the coaching staff, Joe, what do you draw up here? I mean, obviously Haid and Jones have been your guys in the second half.
Well, there's a couple of things you have in your back pocket. Number one, you have 2 timeouts. Number 2, you do have the possession arrow, okay? So that helps.
Yeah.
What you want to do is create some sort of mismatch. So I'm setting a big little ball screen, hoping that LIU will switch like they normally do and try and create something off the dribble for Jordan Jones and Devin Hayes.
Another thing you can do, too, is really he's not a decoy because it's well known, but you have to clear it out. There's really nobody who can guard Devontae Sweatman one-on-one going to the basket. That's another option.
Now, the other thing, too, is you better make sure on any shot attempt you have good floor balance because LIU's smart enough to get it and slow it down or get it and go.
There's a weak handoff, 2-on-1, and Haid fouls. I believe that's Lassou who made the layup, and it was the handoff by Momo to Haid. It was kind of nonchalant, and it resulted in a turnover and a run out.
Yeah, we're going to get a look. This is an unforced turnover, the biggest one of the game. There's a hit. The handoff,
I mean,
inexplicable, shouldn't happen. I see what Devin Haid was trying to do, create a foul to get Lassou to the foul line, but it's got to be harder, and you got to foul him before he gets his arms up to his shoulders.
Free throw is good.
Now you're okay. It's 2:17. As I mentioned, you got 2 timeouts. You can make the game longer, but you need something good here.
Jones thought about it. Now Momo down low, played by Davis. Davis tried to take the charge. Instead, Jones exited for Brown, and he's fouled underneath. Malachi Davis trying to take the charge. He's still shaken up.
Yeah, not too long ago, like a few months ago last season, that would be called a flop. Okay, but every time the referees would come over to me in my broadcast, I'd always say, no flops today. No flops. If a guy's going to go down and create a disadvantage for himself, so be it. Sure enough, they don't call it. Here's the replay. This is the mismatch. Momo on the switch. Yeah, that's a good no call. Boy, that would have been a nice time for an N1.
So Jaden Brown to the free throw line for the Blue Devils. Big free throws. Splash on the first one. Central as a team now. 11 out of 17 from the line. Jaden Brown, 3 for 5 after that make.
And again, no need to panic or pressure the defensive end. You should see Central pick up full court just to slow the game down. That'll give them LIU less time to execute on the half court.
Next one, no good. Momo almost tipped it in, and it's rebounded by LIU, who probably will be in no hurry here. And again, you have Strickland and Davis, 2 of the better ball handlers in the league. Davis gets it, played by Jones. Off the pick. Davis goes right. Hangs, banks, no good. Rebound Haid. Blue Devils with an opportunity. Jones, corner, Brown, drives, throws it away. He drove baseline, tried to get it back out to Jordan Jones for a 3, and Malachi Davis was waiting on it. Blue Devils in the previous game, 57 points against Wagner. They're stuck on 50 here. Strickland picks up the dribble. Jones playing Davis. Shot clock at 10. Davis behind the back. In the lane. Right-hand banker, no good. Rebound Lassou underneath. Pops it back out. Blue Devils might think about fouling now. That's Brent Davis with the ball. Now Malachi Davis has it.
Bruce,
he's an 82% free throw shooter.
The reason why you don't foul is only 20 on the shot clock.
Yeah, that's
it's not
true.
like the old days where you can run.
And now it's down to 5. Davis one-on-one, and alley-oop or a lob down low. Lassou rejected by Momo, and it should be a shot clock violation. Yeah, Rod Strickland saying the ball hit the rim.
I don't think it did.
They're going to probably look at it, I would think.
What do you think, Bruce?
I do not think it hit the rim. I was looking on the outside as well to see it, or looking at the shot clock. But if it did indeed hit the rim, here we go again with the replay. Nice unselfish play by Davis. It gets blocked. And when does the shot clock go off? There's no foul called, so yeah, it did not hit the rim. Nope. I mean, yeah, it's very clear. And they're going to look at the replay here. But
We're going to check for a time to know if the ball hit the rim. We will reset to 20. And it would be goal ball.
all right, there you go. We got the explanation, what we thought, right, Joe?
They don't have to review it. You just told them what the deal was. Tell
well,
everybody.
Yeah, I mean, but see, we watch the replay. Now, of course, different replays on NEC front row, different cameras, but it was obvious.
Yeah, they're looking to see if the ball hit the rim.
Right.
If it did, there'll be a 20-second reset, okay? If it didn't, which it didn't,
it's central ball.
You got it.
Right. Nice job by Momo.
Nice job. Tremendous job.
And boy, how about Trevor slowing it down? Mark's usually very complimentary of Trevor. I don't.
Should be. Great job by the boss.
He hasn't called him that yet. You've given him a new name.
You know, I always thought Bruce Springsteen was overrated, but my man to the right is not. Especially for me, a newcomer here, a rookie here. And I am praying for a Central win because I'm afraid they're not going to let me back in if they go down.
Yeah, I don't know if they can see it or not, but we had a pretty good look at it. And so it should be Central ball with a fresh shot clock, right? Down 4, 47.8 left. Javier Mojica's getting antsy over there. He wants to come in and shoot a 3. You can see him, right? He's pacing.
Well,
Javi.
Their staff should look over here. We'll tell them whose ball it is.
Well, you would hope. You would hope that it is. I think they're checking the time.
So we have a shot clock violation. We're going to reset the game clock to 49.5.
Right.
And
right. Got it. Thank you.
All right, so it is a shot clock violation. They'll just change the game clock to 49.5 seconds left. Now, what do you do here, Joe? Get a quick 2?
Again, you don't want to get a quick force 2. You have some time. You got timeouts. You got 5 team fouls, so you do have 1 to give if you need to. But again, I would try and create some sort of mismatch on the perimeter or inside, and that's usually going to be because of a high ball screen.
And does LIU pick up a 3/4 court to try to slow them down a little bit?
That gives them less time to defend on the half court.
I would try to get the ball in the hands of Devontae Sweatman, who can get up there in a hurry, although Jordan Jones is going to take it. 45 seconds left. Double J. Is he looking for a 3 or is he looking to go to the rack? He's looking to go to the rack, and he's fouled underneath. Rod Strickland didn't like that call.
Well, he's not going to like that call, but the bottom line is
clock stops.
The clock stops. You get to catch up. You get the attempt at catching up with no time left, and you set the high ball screen, the big little high ball screen, which causes the switch and the mismatch.
All right, Double J at the free throw line. Solid.
Now the decision is, do you foul? Okay.
Well, they only have 5 team fouls, so
you have to. Yep.
Ostrowski's going to come in for Jaden Brown, try to put pressure in the backcourt, I would think. Sometimes they'll put in Max Frazier in this spot to guard the inbounds pass as Jones knocks down 2 free throws and makes it a 2-point game. And Pat Sellers will talk it over. That is he's got 1 timeout remaining, right? The Blue Devils do. Yep, both LIU and the Blue Devils with 1 timeout remaining. Now, do you put pressure on the ball here? Obviously, you want to deny Strickland and Malachi Davis, both terrific free throw shooters.
Well,
although you're only 5 team fouls.
First of all, every coach is different, and certainly Pat Sellers knows his team better than I do. I don't know if I would have called a timeout in that situation. I might have called my team over and talked to them about what I want to save the second. But the bottom line, it is what it is. If you're Central, I would employ some type of full court trapping press. Okay? At least to get over half court. When LIU gets over half court, now it may be a time to foul. And the guys you want to foul are Jamal Fuller, who's 61% from the free throw line. Trying to look and see who else is in the game. Brent Davis is 77. You don't want to foul him. Lasso, of course, is 52%. If he touches it, you definitely want to.
Fuller's 61%, but he's inbounding the ball. Yeah.
Right. Well, if he gets it back, that's a guy you want to foul. But let's see some trapping over half court, then you might want to foul.
First thing you want to do is deny Strickland. They should trap Fuller or foul him right there.
No,
right? Well, not at this point. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Here's Fuller.
Now,
they're trying for a steal.
Now,
he almost traveled. Now with 28 seconds left, do they play it out? There's a 10-second differential. All right, they're going to play it out now. They do have a foul to give, but it's too late now. 10 seconds left. Strickland to the rack. Banks it up. No good. Rebound tipped, and Jones comes away with it. And they call timeout. I believe Patrick Sellers or Lenny Jefferson looked like they were back in their playing days the way they got up off the bench and called the timeout with 12.1 seconds left, because that rule has changed in the last couple of years. Remember, they changed it back where the bench couldn't call a timeout?
Right.
Mark Robbins loved that rule. But Central does call a timeout, and they have the ball with 12.1, a chance to tie or take the lead.
Now, there was a 10-second difference. We were calling for fouls, but I was more calling for when to foul if you're going to foul. The point is that they didn't. They got to stop. And it should have been an automatic timeout by Jordan Jones. He's got to know. He's got to know that we have one left. So he waited, and he lost 2, 3, 4 seconds. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but he's got to know as a point guard that right away I see the two guys. Bruce, guess what? It's not even just the two guys. It's a sideline. It's the baseline. It's the water cooler. It's a team chaplain. Everyone's over there.
Well, not only that, but that's going to be a tough place to inbounds the ball from also, right?
Well, you take one step at a time. Again, here's the bottom line. You have the ball. A great call by you. If it is a tough place, they got to get the ball in first. Okay.
Yeah, because they don't have any timeouts remaining.
Now, let's see what LIU does. Are they going to put a guy on the ball? You better make sure if you're taking the ball out with pressure, use your pass fakes, Bruce. Fake high, throw low, fake low, throw high.
Ball fake. Yep. Right. Not against the rules to ball fake. Right. Fake a pass to make a pass, right?
100%.
All right, so, again, the options are, obviously, you're thinking Jordan Jones or Devin Hade, but, again, you still have Devontae Sweatman who can get up the floor in a flash. And you got plenty of time, 12 seconds left. So you probably want to take this shot, right, with about 3 or 4 seconds left, a chance for an offensive rebound. Although you do not, you have Momo in as your only big right now, unless you want to count Devin Hade, who's a small forward. They're going to add a little time. And the possession arrow does point to the Blue Devils as well, Joe.
See, I agree with you. Day-Day Sweatman is the quickest guy, but you have enough time. You don't need the quickest guy with the ball. You want your best player with the ball. Jones has just got to get it and go to the rim. You don't want to complicate stuff. Get it, go to the rim, look for the best shot.
Or get fouled.
Or get fouled, right.
2-point lead. Hade to inbounds from a tough spot, but the Sharks are backing off for the most part. They're going to let Jordan Jones get the ball into the front court. 10 seconds left. Off the pick from Momo. Jordan Jones to the rack. Off the glass, no good. Knocked out of bounds by LIU. So Blue Devils will have 5.6 left. Rod Strickland with one timeout. Does not elect to use it, I don't believe. He will not. 17 fouls on LIU. Ostrowski in the game for the Blue Devils, along with Hade, Sweatman, Momo, and Jones to inbounds. Look for him to get it back. That's usually what you see. Jones to inbounds. Looking, having trouble. Gets it in for Momo. Back for Jones. Stolen away. Do they foul? Day saying foul. They did, but is it too late? And that has been a bugaboo this year for the Blue Devils, Joe. Inbounds plays. It's been, they're going to check to see if there's any time left, but.
Bruce, again, it was another sloppy handoff. There's too much space between Momo